All right, guys, we are the vehicle collision device. So basically, just a quick rundown of what this device is it's you put this on your car, on the hood of your car. If this were to go into an actual car, we would have Velcro on it. You just put it in. It's got two modes. You can either run it on battery, or you can run it on your car's power with a little cable in it. And what it does is it connects to your phone, Android or iOS. And when it detects a crash, it will send that signal to your phone, and your phone will automatically call emergency services and text a couple people in your contacts your location of where the crash occurred, and just a quick message saying, hey, I've been in a car crash, the car crash has been detected, and it will pop up. You can cancel it. So it will give you 10 seconds from when this device detects that you got into a car crash to actually calling emergency services, where you guys can cancel it. And very quickly, I do want to go over two things that might come to your mind when you think about this device. One is, well, Apple has a device, something like this built into all your phones. And in the US, that's a 6% of the phone market. So a lot of people have Apple devices, and it already does that. But the fact is that the difference between this and an Apple device is you bring your phone around. This should be in your car at all times. Just strapped there. You shouldn't have to think about it. And so what happens with the Apple is you go on a roller coaster or something, it goes off. So a lot of people actually turn off that feature because they don't want to deal with this. Another thing is that with this device, all right, sorry. I'll go to Evan to talk more about the device.
Okay. So we have a 3D printed case to protect the hardware. And that's this whole thing here. And on the sides, on the right, you can see sort of on the left, you can see sort of an exploded view of the case. This red part here is sort of the main body of the case, where most of the hardware is. This little blue thing that holds a 9-volt battery. And this purple thing here, that's a clip for the accelerometer that we used, because most of the components are padded with foam, but we don't want to pad the accelerometer too much because that could dampen the results that we're getting. And this green thing here is just the lid. And if you can see it on the lid, there's like a big hole. That's because there's a button inside that we have to press to turn on the device, and that just gives this little thing to put our finger into. And on the right, you can see like sort of how they fit together, except for the lid. And then there's holes here, so they just screw together. And this is what it actually looks like inside. So in the back here, behind all those wires, that's where the Arduino and the Bluetooth module are. And this little black thing right here, that's the button that we have to turn it on. And there's this plug up here that goes into the battery. Yep. And so this way, to change the battery, all we have to do is take the lid off and swap the battery out. And this little red thing here, that's the accelerometer, and that's just the way it clips in. So now Arif's going to talk about how the device actually works.
All right, so this is the data flow of our project. So looking at the left side, we have the microcontroller device containing the Arduino, the accelerometer, as well as the Bluetooth LE shield. The device connects to the vehicle detection apps using Bluetooth LE, and it's low energy, so it's compatible for both our iOS and our Android app. The apps make use of your phone's storage to store and retrieve emergency context. So when a user inputs context and then closes the app, the context will still be saved to the phone. When the apps are notified of a collision and the user opts not to cancel the detection, the app will make use of its respective operating system to call emergency services as well as text the emergency contacts. So the accidents are detected using the accelerometer, of course. The accelerometer gets data from 3 directions, X, Y, and Z. If any of those readings reach the threshold of 10 Gs, it will send a signal over the Bluetooth low energy using a GAT characteristic, and it'll essentially notify the app that the user has been in an accident. So more about the Bluetooth. The device has a connectivity range of about 10 meters. So any mobile app outside of this range will not be able to discover the device. It can only connect to one app at a time. So if the device is in a connected mode, it will not be able to be discoverable to other apps. And an important note on that, if a user fails to connect the connected device in 30 seconds, the device will enter a power down state to conserve battery power, of course. And the mode LED on the device will be powered off, which tells our users that the device is powered off. And the way to boot it up would be to press the button, like Evan said. And it's kind of hard to see, but the mode LED will start flashing red. Yeah, the mode LED will start flashing red. It's kind of hard to see. And that tells our users that the device is on, it's ready to connect. And it'll give our users another 30 seconds to connect their phone to the device. And that's all I had to say about the functionality of the device. I'll hand it off to Brad to introduce the Android app.
Sorry.
All right, so I'm just gonna explain kind of the front-facing aspect of our Android app. So you can see we have three components. At the top, we have our Bluetooth connection status. Right now, it reads not connected because I haven't connected it yet. But there's a prompt right under saying tap here to attempt a connection. So we're gonna try that later. Under that, we have our emergency contact list. This holds all the emergency contacts and is, as Reef said, is saved and retrieved in our app's internal storage. And then we have at the bottom just buttons for adding and deleting contacts. So we're going to test adding a contact. So we'll test add Tamer and the test number. So you can see that the list is updated once you add it. So now I'm just going to swipe out of the app and then reload it, and Tamer's name should still be there on load. So now just to delete a contact, we kind of have a little security measure where you have to type in the full name, so there's no like accidental deletions when you're using the app. So if you type in Tamer's name, hit delete, it should be clear from the screen. So now we're just going to try to connect it. So you can see a prompt under not connected saying tap here to attempt connection. So I'm just going to tap it. And it's scanning for the device, and now it's connected. So I'm going to pass it off to Austin to kind of explain some of the other portions.
So as mentioned earlier, there's going to be an alert that pops up whenever the accelerometer detects a crash. So there's only one way to actually showcase that. And then take note, as it's driving, it's not going off while it's driving. It only goes off when it hits the wall, aka detects a crash. So as you can see, it's detected a crash and it's coming up with the alert. So in this scenario, we're just going to say it's a false positive. I click cancel, goes away, doesn't call or text anyone. And then if I crash again, this time I'm going to let it count down from 10 to 0, just to showcase the calling and texting. And
So in this case, I'm emergency services set in the code because we didn't actually want to call 911,
Yeah.
but I'm getting the call.
obviously we can't call 911, but as you can see, that calling is going off. And then if I go to the text I sent myself, you will see it comes up double because I texted myself, but here you can see, hello me, I have been in a serious crash, address, the address we are at located currently, and the coordinates just in case the address is not accurate, especially if you're on the road, not near a city or anything. And if you click on the address, it pulls it up to Google Maps. And then so what if you can't reach your phone to cancel it? What if there's a false positive your phone's in your bag or something, or it falls off the dashboard. If you can, one more time. I'm gonna try to say stop. And it stops. It also works with cancel as well. And yeah, those are the two commands. And then I'm gonna hand it off to Nate, right?
Yeah.
To start showing off the iOS portion.
So for the iOS application, we pretty much have the same bunches, same functionalities. So down here, we have 3 tabs. The first one is the connection status. You can see that it's connected now. And if it's not connected, it'll appear, say device disconnected with a red font. And then we have the emergency contacts tab. Within here, we could add contacts. So here I'm gonna add a read. And if I swipe up, delete the swipe up the app, we're gonna have those 2 contacts there. And we also have the functionality to delete emergency contacts. So and then we have the prompt here asking us if we want to delete it or not. We can delete it. It's not going to be there anymore. And I'm just going to add it back. And we could also add it again, and we can see that we have a duplicated contact, just letting us know that we can add it again. And I'll be handing this to Don.
So the iOS app works the same as the Android app. When you crash, the device going to send the data that it crashed to the phone, and we're going to send a text message and call the emergency service. So right now you can see the device is connecting. So we try to run through the phone. As you can see, it's not detecting anything. We also have voice control, so I can test the voice control as well.
A crash has been detected. Please say or press cancel to halt emergency services.
And the thing disappeared. Let me crash it one more time, and this time I won't cancel and let it go, and you guys can see.
A crash has been detected. Please say or press cancel to halt emergency services.
So now it's fall off. So there's the call. And here's the text. So it will send your location as well here. And if you click on the location, it's gonna open the map. So in iOS, we use Twilio, because there's some Apple privacy concerns, so we have to work around it with Twilio. So with Twilio, you can set the message in the calling as well. So it's very powerful. So like if you're actually like trapped and disabled and you cannot do anything, you can send like a free message for it, and it's gonna call 911, and it's they're gonna say, the app gonna say everything for you without you touching your phone. So yeah, that's the iOS demo done.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
We're open for any questions from here.
So you can set anything for the phone, say 911. You can type it in. You can. So if you pay for the Twilio service account, so we cannot pay it because it will go through like Twilio needs to verify a lot of documents for privacy concern and all. So yeah, that we don't have time for that. But you can do it with Twilio.
So how does it, what about the area track? If I'm at a red light, and I get like a little light better, would it just call 911? So how would that?
So
About that?
that's the logic behind the voice control and the false positives, like with canceling it. So ideally, it won't go off. It'll only go off in like an actual like severe crash. But in case it does, you can either tap on it or use your voice to cancel it.
And so that's why we also set our threshold to 10 Gs because we were playing around with, what could be a minor fender bender. What are the Gs you're looking at? What are the Gs you're looking at when you're hitting somebody 30 miles an hour? That's when you want to call someone. So that's where we thought of the 10 G counter.
And this would go in the center of the car.
This would go on the dashboard.
How far do you think you are, like, let's say I get really annoyed from hitting speed bumps and getting false positives. Do you think you'd be able to like soon add the threshold to the UI? So I could like customize how much it goes off?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that initially, but just due to time constraints, we didn't have that added.
Wait, there's one more.
So many.
On the Android side of things, so do you guys use the built-in Bluetooth Low Energy API? Or do you guys use an external library? So I've had issues with the built-in.
We use the built-in.
You didn't run into any issues with that.
It was
We
hard
had-
at first.
Yeah, we had issues at first because with the parts we ordered, we didn't know Bluetooth LE was a thing. We thought it was just general Bluetooth. And then so once we discovered it, like, oh, Bluetooth LE is a thing, we have to look at this. It was pretty straightforward from there because the documentation is straightforward.
And on Android, is it still using that pre-recorded audio or is it just making the phone call to the other person, to the emergency service?
It's just making a phone call.
Okay.
With Android, it's near impossible unless you use some like weird API you find on the internet. And we wanted to constrain ourselves to use mostly like just base Android APIs, so.
But one concern I do have is that it is illegal to dial 911 through an automated system. It is.
Well, yeah, so
Alarm systems. It always has to be someone who dials emergency service.
yeah, so if this goes to production, right, we're gonna have our own, think of it as a subscription service, but basically it will call a call center. And the call center will ask you if you're all right, and then they'll dial down.
If you like think of like Life Alert, that's like an example of that.
And since it has the GPS in there, they can send the location as well.
You can send it once.
Okay, we're close to time. Thank you very much. Also for the last meeting, please your voice, but other than that, excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I thought you take this down. They can't.
It's a automated, like, it's the person has to be there. That goes on, I would take it, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's. Also, getting your car apart. Like, yeah, I was actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's it, anyone, just.
We're just waiting for the robot to load up, but the first thing we did was turn on the robot so that they can get ready to boot and